Hello and welcome to Nintendo Pals, your daily dive into all things Nintendo with a couple of pals. And tonight we are talking news from this week in the world of Nintendo, including the Indie World Showcase, some new game releases, and more. Micah, are you ready to dive on in to the episode? You did. There's no sound.
Yup.
Greetings, fellow Nintendo pals. We're here. We're live, and we are ready to party. We just got done reacting to the Indie Showcase, and gotta say, it was pretty good. The Indie Showcases never disappoint. Do you agree, Micah?
Yep. Yep. They're always good.
Such a long pause there. Did I catch you while you were drinking something?
No, I instantly had some advertisement thing popped up, and I instantly clicked more info instead of closing out of it.
Oh, that's the worst. That's the worst when that happens.
So I was looking at a lot of news on accident that I was trying to get out of.
Well, speaking of a lot of news, there was a lot that happened this week in the world of Nintendo. So why don't we just jump on into it? First off, we have a couple of games dropped this week, and we've got Hogwarts Legacy finally being dropping on Nintendo Switch, and the port for that, I picked it up and played it. So far, I'm enjoying it. I think it's pretty good. I want to give more thoughts on it, so I'll save that for a future episode where we're talking first impressions of that. But yeah, that's so far. I think it's pretty good. You want to take the next news item, Micah? I'm just kind of winging it here, rolling through our news section on Discord.
There's a new season in Splatoon coming, the Chill season, arriving at the start of December. And I don't actually know all that much that changes, but I do know we are getting a new King Salmonid, Megalodonia or something like that. Megalodonia.
You should have saved.
It's a big version of a Moz.
You should have saved this part for the Micah's Weekly Splat.
Well, this is practically the only thing that I would have talked about.
Perfect. Well,
and also the Splatfest starting now. I think I mentioned this last week. But by the time most people hear this, it will already be over.
I think the Amiibos also dropped this week. So there's that. You can finally
I missed that.
Finally get yourself a big man Amiibo. Everybody's dream come true. Then next up we have the Mario movie is dropping on Netflix December 3rd. So coming to Netflix, I'd say, is like the biggest movie and show streaming platform. So that's good. Get more Mario in your life. Speaking of more Mario in your life,
we got some Mario RPG icons.
Yes, because that game dropped today, as of when we're recording this. So Mario RPG, the remaster / remake, wherever you qualify this, is out now, and you can get those sweet NSO icons. Yeah, looks pretty good. And even more Mario news. Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope Standard Edition has dropped to $15 USD on Amazon. Kind of a tease to what it will probably look like on Black Friday across the board.
It always kills. I mean, I think this is the best sale I've seen for it. But I think I've seen it down to like 20 or 25 a couple times. And it always kills me because the gold edition with all the DLC is always full price at $90.
Yeah. How much?
So like,
How much is it to get the DLC separate with this?
you can buy the season pass, which I believe includes all the DLC, for $30. So overall, it's still a pretty good deal. But it just, for some reason, pains me that the
Yeah.
base game goes on sale for so little and the DLC never does.
Yeah.
In fact, if you buy it as a bundle, you're paying like $75 for the DLC.
Yeah, that's wild. And herein lies the problem with Mario and Rabbids as a series and Ubisoft business practices as a business. When you mark your games down this drastically, I mean, when did this come? This came out earlier this year, right? Like this
last year.
Yeah, so it's
end of last year, I think. It's probably been about a year.
The problem is everybody waited.
I'm still waiting.
Yeah, everybody waited because they're like, it's gonna go on sale for $15. The last one did, and like that's a problem. They set the precedence. So if they do a third, which I don't think they are going to because this one performed so poorly, sales wise, not game wise. The game's actually really, really good, well made. But yeah, it performed so poorly. But this is a factor in that, and I don't think that's gonna change because Ubisoft seems to be helming the pricing thing here. Now, at the end of the day, this is great for us gamers because I like getting the game for $15 versus $60, but it's bad for IP and series overall. You know? You have thoughts on this, Micah? Give me your...
Pretty much the same thoughts. Because I mean, I know a lot of people that waited because they're like, well, it'll be on sale pretty soon. Mm-hmm. And there are lots of good games coming out too. So most people have a backlog they're playing through anyway, so they don't need it right now.
Right. Well, kind of in the same vein of talking bad business practices, I wanted to bring up something I kind of dove into today. The Embracer Group, this isn't really Nintendo specific, but in gaming in general. The Embracer Group, if you remember correctly, was buying up a whole bunch of studios last year and early this year. They're in panic mode. They've already laid off about 1,000 employees and will be continuing to lay off more employees. They've said, yeah, expect more. They're just like failing, and they're trying to recoup costs. So studios that they have purchased are like some smaller studios have just been completely canned and shut down, and it's crazy. I'm like, it makes you wonder, what was their business plan to go out? They bought like Gearbox for like $1 billion. It's like, what? You didn't have a plan for what to do? You're just going to spend money and hope it all comes back?
I think they're expecting to make money faster or something.
Well, I looked into it a little bit more, and really it looks... This is assumptions being made here, but it looks like their business strategy was to become really big, and that would be a good... that would be a good indicator for investors to invest in their company. And they had a big deal lined up with Saudi Arabia, the other Mondo gonna buy up everything force of the world. And and that deal fell through. Like they didn't end up getting it, and that's what sort of triggered this collapse. And it's like their whole plan was buy up as many of these studios as possible, and then you'd have it's kind of the I saw it said somewhere online that it's kind of like the cable package deal, right? They're like, nobody would pay for these channels individually necessarily, but when it's like all in a big group in a whole, people will buy it for the big channels. Like okay, I want to get this because I want this sports channel, this reality TV show or whatever, and you're getting the whole package because that's the only way to get those shows, right?
Yeah.
And that was sort of their strategy here, I think, but from like an investor standpoint, and it just didn't work. And it's concerning. It's concerning to see that consolidation of the industry means just internal collapse of the industry. And I really hope that studios and like business folks in the gaming space take a good hard look at what is going on and what they're doing, and not sell out to big companies, because it just seems like it's not worked in favor for a lot of studios. That's just been my perspective from the outside. Look what Microsoft did to Rare, all right? Look what they did to my boy. Anywho, let's move on, Micah. Let's talk some indie showcase.
Do it.
All right. So Indie World happened, and there was there were a couple things lacking. One of those things being there was no Hollow Knight Silksong. I wasn't expecting that. I really am not expecting that to be in an indie world. I think that will be a big deal and will just come when it comes at this point. And then the other big one that I was surprised we didn't see anything from is Mina the Hollower. And you know what, Micah? Yeah, you know where I'm going with it.
Absolutely, I do.
We are in competition with our friends over at All In for a Fantasy Critic League, and those two games are the last ones that they have. And them not coming out this year is good for our score, but it's bad for gamers. That's but maybe good for the games, right? Let them cook. Let them cook. So, Seth and Eric, you guys better get your dust off your cosplay. And what were the punishments we decided? You're gonna have to eat like a spicy chip. They're gonna have to play Vroom in the Night Sky, the worst rated Nintendo Switch game. So that's pretty exciting. Anyways, those weren't in the Indie World Showcase. Do you have the list up of Indie World Showcase games, Michael?
Of course I do.
Okay. Well, you take the first one. Let's just kind of go through the list, and we can stop anywhere.
Well, we got Shantae Advance Frisky Revolution coming at some point.
Yeah, this one's cool because
2024 says.
This one's cool because it's like they're making a game that was planned to come out on the Game Boy Advance. It's funny that they're still calling it Shantae Advance. Like, it's just not... Whatever. How many systems late are you? I think in the trailer she says something like, better 22 years late than never. That's funny.
Wrong, I guess.
Next up we had Core Keeper, which looked interesting. I kind of compared it. It looks like a Stardew Valley meets Don't Starve. Got any points to make on that one? Had a big scary worm.
Yeah, it's got a giant worm thing, and up to 8 players can play.
Oh, yes. Cool. 8-player co-op online. What's next?
On Your Tail. Nice little detective-y animals.
It's a furry detective game. That's what it is. They're all furries, and you play as a detective. I mean, they're like actual animal creatures. They're not people in costumes that we know of. Plot twist. Let's move
Would be a
on to.
twist. The masked person at the end is just a person.
It's just a human. Howl was the next one, which is like a turn-based, kind
Top down grid.
top-down
Something.
grid game style. Fairy tale, very artistic-y. It looked nice.
Yep.
Speaking of it,
Speaking
looked
of
nice.
nice,
Yeah, I'm like,
the star named
I'm lining
Eos.
these up for you so well, and you just sit here.
I just wanted to make sure you were done talking about it.
Listen, I'm good to just move on. Let's just cruise through this showcase.
Then showed the star named Eos, which is a narrative puzzle game using photography to uncover the truth about the protagonist's mother disappearing. Coming this spring.
Seemed pretty cool. Next up, we had Backpack Hero, which was like it's a inventory management dungeon crawler sim.
Yeah, it's like I think the backpack inventory management of Diablo, I think it is. I mean, a lot of games have done it now, I guess, but that's the big deal.
Yeah,
Got
it's
it.
kind of
Manage that
puzzling.
inventory space, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Not much else to say about that one. I think it looks nice.
It looked interesting. And they showed off Blade Chimera, which definitely is the coolest name from this.
Yeah, the pixel artwork on this one looked incredible. Like it was like buttery smooth pixel animation, which was like real weird, but looked good. Kind of fits the vibe overall of the game. And then we had Highland Song, which you and I both kind of thought was the story looks very Celeste-like.
Except you just got to get to the ocean.
It's rhythm based.
It has like some rhythm running parts, they said.
Well, even like the cover of the game like has like little music notes trailing behind her as she's running. It's supposed to be very where was it that it Scottish Highlands. Yeah, so it's like it's got a lot of got a lot of Scottish. That was a bad Scottish accent. That was more British.
It was an attempt, for sure.
It what's an attempt? Go ahead.
And French in there or something. Then they showed Moonstone Island creature collection stuff. Everything's dancing. Looked pretty cool.
That one did look pretty cool. Then we had Death Trick, Double Blind. Wait, isn't Death Trick another game? Like Ghost Trick. I was like, that sounds so familiar. Ghost Trick is what I was thinking. Yeah, Death Trick. You play as an amnesiac detective that's working with a magician to find a magician. And my prediction is the plot twist is you are the magician that you're looking.
Maybe your magician friend is the magician.
Oh my gosh, that would make sense. So, but okay, we didn't discuss this, like what this game looks like at all. It's a kind of visual novel-esque game. It's Famicom Detective Club. Like that's what it looks like, and looks like it plays like. But it's in a circus. You're trying to figure this all out in like a circus. So a very colorful cast of characters. Looks like a pretty art style. Intriguing overall. And that's that. That's all I have to say about it. Go ahead, Micah. What's the next one?
Shut off Outer Wilds, the Archaeologist Edition, which includes the Echoes of the Eye expansion.
Yeah, this was announced for Switch a long time ago. So glad to see it's here, and glad it'll be getting
a physical, but like next year.
Yeah, this comes out in December.
Early December.
Right. And then we got a montage which showed off several games. We got Planet of Lana, Enjoy the Diner, Heavenly Bodies, The Gecko Gods, Passepartout 2, The Lost Artist, Urban Myth Disillusion Center, Braid Anniversary Edition, and that was it. That was where it ended. So, Micah, give it a grade. What did you think of this indie showcase?
I'll give it a B+.
I will give it the same. Nothing in here was super standout to me, but nothing bad. Everything looked decently good, I think. I think that's just, yeah, it was good.
Mostly
good overall.
A matter of personal preference.
Yeah. Agreed. Well, that about does it for the news. Am I missing anything?
I think that's probably it. Unless you are missing something, then yes.
Yeah, probably am. You know what we are missing, though? Nintendo financials. We haven't talked about Nintendo financials. Actually, we had that discussion last week, but due to things shuffling around with the episodes, that episode will go up tomorrow. So we'll see that. Maybe tomorrow. It'll come up this week. Who knows when we're going to talk about Nintendo financials? It's a mystery. But you know what's not a mystery? Helping out, supporting our show by leaving us a 5-star review. You can help us to take over the world of Nintendo podcasts and makes us feel good about ourselves. Micah, where can people find you on the internet? Changing gears completely.
You can find me on Twitch at Micah Prime.
You can find me on Twitch and YouTube at Andros1. And you can also follow the show on all platforms, including Patreon. Patreon.com/NintendoPals, where for as little as $1, you can support the show and help us get cool stuff made. That's what we do here, including the Patreon Poke Rap, which we close every episode with, and we'll close this episode with right now. We gotta rap some Patreon.
You just do the singing. I'll take care of the hard part.
Let's get it on.
We want to be the best that ever was, and shout out our pals over on Patreon.
LPD, Rizzo, Retro Logic Day, Tim the Nintendo Dash, Slim, Tor, Spider Chan, Solo something, Mute Dog the Game, Little Miss 7, and Monkey Thunder.
Catch 'em, gotta catch 'em all, gotta catch 'em all. Patreon.
Kid, Fiasco, Third Strongest Mole, Fedorable Will, All and Seth Sturgill, Cosmic, Purple Viola, That Fast John, and Mother Plays too.
Gotta catch 'em all, gotta catch 'em all.
Yeah.
Gotta catch 'em all, gotta catch 'em all.
Yeah.
Gotta catch 'em all. Patreon. Let's get 150 or more, yeah, please. To be a Patreon donor is your destiny.
Thank you all so much for listening, and we will talk to you in the next episode. Bye-bye!